Hello, well today we're overlooking the Bay of Paddy across the Colan. We're on the 13th floor of a superb new development called Southpoint. Joining me is the CEO of Kingdom Properties, Nigel Cornick. Nigel, nice to see you again.
And you, Paul?
Nigel, so today you've invited the media, not just local media, but from Bangkok and beyond, to come down and do a site tour. I guess the idea is to show the progress that you're making and how the whole project's going.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to get a feel for what we're doing here, because a lot of lay people, they look at a building site and they think it's all the same. But I think you probably agree, when you walk around here, you do get a feeling that Bouygues know what they're doing, and certainly that's the case. And the speed of construction is being really right on program.
Now the company, you say what the company called?
Bouygues Thai.
Bouygues Thai. You've been dealing with them in your different guises for many years, right?
Yeah, since 2003 when we did the Lakes, which was our first project together.
And I was speaking to some of your team, they are saying that what this company does, it's quality all the way.
Yeah, as I said, there's only one way to do things, and that's the right way, and Bouygues definitely do it the right way. Just looking at the safety aspects of the site, the environmental aspects, just the construction techniques. They've got the latest formwork, which basically improves the finishing, but also means you can do it faster and with less manpower. Okay. So all of those aspects are what a 21st century contractor should be doing. If you look around Paddy, you won't see too much of that.
Okay. And at present, you're completing about a floor a week, correct?
Floor a week, that's right.
What I'm very surprised at is the finishing, in particular the columns. Yep. It seems a remarkable technique that you have.
Yeah, well, that comes back to what I just said about the formwork systems, which are not cheap to buy, but once you've got them, they can be used for pretty much any size of column. Mm-hmm. So you've got to make that investment in the plant and machinery, and then you end up with finishes like that, which is quite unbelievable.
Okay. Another thing that I noticed compared to some other sites that I've been on, I haven't seen one piece of bamboo propping up the ceiling.
And you won't, because that's no longer. It's even in China they don't use bamboo. So I think the scaffolding techniques you see here, it just saves time, and it's safer. So all of those things contribute to a product. When it is finished, it'll be around for quite a few years.
Okay. So when did you actually launch Southpoint?
I think we launched it May of 2012. Okay. I think originally, June 2012. I think we started construction here about 2000, probably about a year later, 2013. So the program construction has been extremely, it's been very fast.
So you're now currently doing a floor a week. So if that continues, bearing in mind, of course, we're now entering the rainy season, which puts everybody back. But if that continues, when would you hope to have this portion of the development complete?
This should be topped out in September, and I would think the second tower should be topped out probably around about January. Okay. And then, but obviously the program is such that you move up the building. So all at the moment they've started the M&E downstairs and the partitioning, and then very soon they'll start with the facade. So you'll see the whole thing coming up. So by the time they get to the top, I would hope the facade is half on.
Okay. So it'll start to look like what it does in the renderings and the videos.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me, what are the challenges for you in today's market in terms of construction? Have things got easier? I mean, I know you're under, as with every developer, you're under a little bit more scrutiny in the eyes of the different controls that are in place.
No, I honestly have never done it any differently to the way we're doing it here. When we did North Shore and when we did the Lakes, whilst a lot of this technology was not available, the principles and the work practices were the same. So it's not really alien to me.
Okay, so we're now in the low season, if a term perhaps you don't want to use, but times are a little bit hard at Thailand at the moment, and we all know what's going on across the kingdom. Where are you at in terms of sales for the whole project?
Probably around about 67-68%.
Wow.
Yeah, we've still got a bit to go. As you rightly say, the last few months have not been conducive to selling real estate to foreigners or to Thais. We're hoping that will change as we approach the high season.
Okay. And your demographic, what has that changed over the last, from project to project, or is it still a healthy mix?
Well, I think if you go back to 2004 when we did North Shore, the buyers were predominantly from the UK, America and Europe, a few from Australia also. We don't seem to see too many UK buyers these days. I think obviously the pound is quite weak compared to what it was in those days. Obviously the Russian market's come along. We've sold some to Russian. Japanese, there's a reasonable number of Japanese who bought here. Thais, we've got a good following with old Thai clients that have bought in most of my projects. And Chinese, we're hoping. We've sold a couple to Chinese, and that was looking very promising until October last year. And I think that's going to, the Chinese market was going to be probably the biggest market in terms of new entries into Thailand. The money's there, and once things settle down here, I'm quite sure there'll be a flood of money coming from China.
And you mentioned the Thai market, and I think one of the very positive factors is the way that they change the way that they think and feel about Pattaya as opposed to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, 10 years ago you would have had a hard job selling to Thai buyers, not to say you couldn't. For example, at South North Shore, we had about 85% foreign buyers, be it through company structures or direct names, so that was only 15% for Thais. Today, I'm sure we will get our 51% here without too much trouble.
Okay. So, of the percentage that you have left, what kind of, if people are watching this and thinking, well, yeah, I'm going to come down, have a look, speak to your sales team, what kind of price are we talking? I mean, because obviously the price goes up as the building goes up.
Well, the entry levels for a studio are somewhere in the order of 2.5 million baht. And then one bedroom around 3.5 million, and then a two bedroom is probably somewhere around about 5 million.
Okay. I mean, it's not crazy money, is it really? And given the quality, and of course, I have to mention the location, because this is, I mean, it's too easy to use a word like prime, but this is just where everybody wants to be, isn't it?
Well, I think there's obviously over the years, Prakamnat has evolved, and it was a little bit forgotten backwater a few years ago, but as you see, it's far from forgotten now. So and the close proximity to Walking Street, Jomtien means it's well placed.
Yeah, and it also has something more of an infrastructure in terms of not just sort of getting around, but I mean restaurants and that. So it's almost its own community now.
Well, and it's going to continue growing. I think there's lots of small opportunities to build restaurants here, and with the beach down here, which is a great beach. I think it's somewhat unknown to a lot of people, but no, this area is really got. Next 10 years will be quite something.
Well, Nigel, thanks for inviting us down. It's always nice to see the work in progress. We've seen your advertising materials, the glossy magazine, but it's really nice to come along and find out exactly what you're doing here and the speed of what you're doing. I mean, it's really commendable to you and your entire team.
Yeah, no, I can thank Buick for that as well, because they really do stick to their word, and it's a pleasure to work with companies like that.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to do one little more video piece as Nigel has very kindly allowed us to go and film the workers' camp, which is something of a contentious subject sometimes when you talk about construction and developments. But his team were telling me how proud the workers are to live in that camp and how great it is. So we're going to go down there and we'll show you a little bit more about what the workers and the environment that they live in to create a wonderful building like this. This is Paul for PMTV. See you again. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Nigel.